Well, now, that was a fantastic meal. I must say, I've not had a meal like that in quite some time. I'd really want to thank you all for allowing us to eat such a fine plate of food with you folks. Bo Ivy dabbed at his mouth with a napkin, which he then tossed casually on the plate in front of him. The remains of the roast chicken, peas, and mashed potatoes caught it and immediately began soaking it with leftover gravy. He finished the beer next to the plate, put down the empty glass, and belched. Then he slid the chair back and stood up, reaching his full 6.5 feet. Sherry, did you get enough to eat, hon? He stretched as he stood. They had been on the road for more than a week, and it felt good to stretch. We gotta get motoring, and I don't want you complaining about how hungry you are. Sherry looked over at him from the living room, smiled. I'm good, sweetie. Let's just finish this off and get on the road. Are you sure? We can sleep here once we're done down here, if you want to. Sherry shook her head. Nah, I don't like sleeping here once it's done. I want to get moving. Bo shrugged. Well, then, guess we better get on with it. Bo reached into his pocket and came out with the switchblade. He had owned this particular knife with the blue handle since he was 14. He was 21 now. In his left pocket was the .38 Sherry had taken from her father once they had finished killing her entire family, then got on the road. In his back pocket was the pistol he had taken from the man currently tied up and gagged on the easy chair in the living room, looking at him with wide, terrified eyes, mumbling against the gag. Mr. Jameson. The name of the family had been on the mailbox at the end of the road, right by the driveway. Sherry had told him how hungry she was, and he admitted he was too. She also told him she really liked the house. They were getting good at this now, though, and had Mr. and Mrs. Jameson, their 16-year-old daughter and 11-year-old son, gagged and bound in the living room in less than 20 minutes. Sorry for interrupting your dinners, folks, but I do appreciate the food, Mrs. Jameson. Bo said, giving the bound and terrified family his most winning smile. I do appreciate your hospitality. He had more guns from the home, too. A pump-action shotgun Mr. Jameson had stashed in a closet. There was a deer hunting rifle, too. Bo and Sherry had collected quite a few since they started traveling about 2 weeks ago. Each place they visited, they seemed to find guns. It was amazing traveling in this part of the country, Bo mused. He pushed the button, and the knife snapped open. Now, Mr. Jameson, this is probably going to hurt, but just for a few seconds. Bo leaned in and quickly slit the man's throat from one side to the other, then back again, twisting the knife so the arteries opened and sprayed across the living room. The man began to kick his legs, twist and turn, gurgle, and make noise. Bo smiled as he watched him. This was always the fun part. The last seconds, the weird pleading in the eyes. Sherry, please take care of the young missus. Bo commanded. Sherry turned the double-barreled shotgun toward the 16-year-old. This gun they had gotten from the first house they had visited right after killing her family. It was her favorite because the homeowner had cut it down slightly so his wife could use it. Sherry pulled the trigger. The side of the young girl's head vanished in a spray of blood and bone which splattered against the white couch. I love it when it splatters like that, baby, she cried out. Mr. Jameson's eyes had started to go blank. Bo held the gaze a moment longer, but he forced himself to turn away. There was work to do. He saw the young boy already trying to crawl away. The mother screamed against her gag, her eyes on them, then at her daughter's body. Shut her up, Sherry, Bo said. Sherry put the barrel of the gun against Mrs. Jameson's chest and fired, squealing with glee when her chest burst apart and more blood went flying. The girl really did love all of the blood. They had had sex in her family's blood right after they finished killing her younger brother 2 weeks ago. It was amazing. Since then, it was like they couldn't get enough. Sorry, young sir, Bo said, grabbing the boy by his hair. You ain't crawling away. Bo raised the knife again. Then he brought it down. He brought it down many, many times.